Hi lovelies! Happy All Souls time! I am here to talk about November decks. What I will be using during this month. So, first of all, I wanted to tell a story about we not having a Halloween at all. We are not celebrating it. It is not a thing in my country, which is Estonia, if I haven't mentioned it before. And so our thing is the Martinmas, I think it would be in English, which is in 11th of November, and it ends the All Souls time, which started 1st November. All Souls time is the time when the ancestors come home, or they are seeking the relatives, and there are many customs with it. Yesterday was the Souls Day. Then everybody I had on my way home saw candles on almost every windowsill. This is the way people light a candle for the past relatives and the souls. And usually everyone visits the graves or the cemeteries where the closed ones are. And yeah, I'm having a candle with me burning all this month, and I am using some of the decks during the All Souls time until 11th of November to communicate with them, because it is believed in our culture that during that time the distance between this and other world is the closest, and it is really easy to travel there or them come visit us. There are customs leaving food out on the table and heating up the sauna for the dead relatives to come and have a sauna and wash themselves. All these types of things. I believe no one does the sauna thing anymore, but the candles and the food leaving out on some of the like in Christmas, which is Yule or Joulut in my country, and the some of the other, the crop, or the, how it's called, when the crops are or up and the end of the I don't remember how it's called, agraric season, then people feast and leave out again the food for the ancestors to eat, and New Year's Eve also. Okay, so that's that. All Souls time. And the Martinmas, I wanted to say, is somewhat like the Halloween, but children and also grown-ups dress up like in these men's clothes. They must look ragged, and coats were turned upside down or the inside out for this, and big ugly masks and so on, and they go house to house or door to door and tell jokes and wish the people good luck and such things, and sing and dance, and for that they get the candy or the apples and or carrots, whatever things in that nature. This one is active to this date, and yeah, this is like old pagan thing that has transformed into this Saint Martin's something, because they had to rename the old things in order to try to turn the people over, because people didn't just leave the traditions behind. Only names changed and somewhat the purposes on the surface changed, but the base is still there, and this is old. Okay, that's that. This what I wanted to say. So first, until 11th of November, I will be using these decks with and for communicating with past ones and souls. And oh, one must be really careful during that time. Not only good souls move around, but also the ill-wanting souls, so you can't magic right now, because you may, if you don't know how to, because you may call upon someone who won't leave, or who will be staying to make harmful things or make you unhappy, something like that. So if you know what you're doing, then good for you. So the decks the decks I want to use for the All Souls period are Ancestor Work Wildwood Tarot, for the ancestors and messages from the ancestors that are long gone, not the recent ones, but all the older ancestors. So Wildwood Tarot. Then the Gonzari cards. I think it's pronounced like that. I use those quite frequently, I must say. Basically, I am never going to use an Ouija board, but these cards are meant to be like Ouija board, and there's a warning on the box that you shouldn't use them alone. Well, I've seen worse than a couple of I don't know, I know what I'm doing, so I am not playing calling ghosts with them, but I actually ask questions and use it for communicating with the past ones. Like my grandfather. So I can tell you a story. Before moving, I was like up until morning, and I look at the clock and thought maybe I would get the 1 hour sleep, or maybe not. And then I thought I would ask Maybe my grandfather, I was thinking about him, and maybe my grandfather has some messages for me. I'm going to show you what cards he told me. So I asked him if he had anything to say to me, and I'm not sure if I can find it right now so fast. Maybe, oh, found it. So found one, and I usually peek on the bottom card of the deck also for the not asked questions. Okay, I probably am wasting your time and not finding the other deck, but the main one I found. So I asked if my grandfather had anything to say to me and got this card. So probably you can also already tell I laughed so hard, not loud, because all the other family was sleeping. So because he was basically telling me, go the fuck to sleep. And then while laughing, I flipped over the bottom card on the deck, and it was mirror. So I had a mirror right on the side of me, and I turned and I looked at my face. I was really tired, like looking like black rings over the... And then I was like, oh my god, you're so right. I haven't slept well for a while, and I've been up all night and sleeping only for a couple of hours. I usually can do really well with 4 hours sleep, but I slept like 1 or 2 hours or 1.5 hour at that point per 24 hours. So it was, of course, not too good for the health. So this message he had me, and I used this deck in the old houses, like this one, when I rented this for my things. I asked the owner to be alone for a while. It is a old wooden house with wood stove and such, and people have lived here, and I was like curious to know if anything is lurking here. I didn't feel anything, but you never can be too sure. And I got some interesting answers. I'm not telling right now because the card told it's a secret and something is hidden in here, or someone, which is really interesting. But all in all, this place has really good vibe, and I'm so happy. And when I got it, it was 4 walls and a shack, you know. I will probably make a before and after thing sometimes to my Facebook or Instagram, something somewhere. Instagram probably because I deleted the Facebook off my phone, because I really don't need any Facebook time that much. I was abusing my internet time with phone too much. So Gangsari cards. Next, during the spirit time, All Souls time, I want to use the Shapeshifters Tarot, and related to that, the Winged Enchantment Oracle. Again, ancestors and messages and stuff like that. And for the shadow work that I use all the time is the Dark Grimoire Tarot. This is like personal shadow work. I don't use it for spirit or something, or reading any large spreads or stuff like that. This is like sometimes take a card for a client reading from this deck if I am called to, but usually I'm not called to, because many people can't handle the harshness of these images, and that's why I'm not using on other people. And All Souls Time, a Wildwood. I probably showed that already. Yes, I showed that. So, the Deviant Moon. This deck actually is not for communicating with souls. This is part of the self-healing, I must say, because this deck has such a great sense of humor, and it just makes me happy and rewinds my brain if my thought processes are all jammed up. I take this deck. Another deck is the Bosch Tarot. Great decks both for this type of thing. You just go through the cards, no spreads needed, no something. You just shuffle it, think it, and just start taking out random cards and looking at them. And this art unwinds my brain like a miracle. I can't even tell what other decks do that. This is like otherworld or otherworldly. So these were the decks I'm using until 11th of November. I'm forgetting months already. And to the rest of the month I am using the Pagan Otherworlds. Pagan Otherworlds deck and Wildwood, of course. I'm keeping up with the Wildwood until the forever, because I'm using that one a lot. I'm using every month my Greenwich, and I'm using the name. Let me see the box. Druidcraft. Oh my god. Druidcraft Tarot I'm using every month. These 3 decks, and I'm thinking now the Pagan Otherworld will add to them. I'm using them client readings, self readings, daily, everything. I'm just using these decks all the time. So, back to the topic. The Tarot Lenoir I'm going to use too. I love how well this deck reads, and the art is just something beautiful. It is, I want to say otherworldly, but it's not. I love that word. I'm going to abuse that word. So, Le Tarot Noir, I think it's, if I butchered it, I'm not even sorry, because I don't speak French at all. And 2 oracle decks that I use monthly usually. This one is the Avalonian Oracle. This is the deck I have. At least 1, usually 2 cards out at the time. At once, together. So I can't even English. This is also with the basic crew that I'm using monthly, and the Vika deck I reach for this quite often, so I can add this to the monthly crew also. So I think this is it. November decks, soul time decks, and after soul time decks, and this is it. Thank you for watching. Bye.